3-pounder, easy spot on the Colorado blade. Look at that. Hello guys, and welcome back to Fisherman Huddle. Thank you guys for joining me today for another episode. A very exciting episode today. I'm going to cover two things and still going through some basic stuff. And so let's get it up. Hello guys, we got an exciting episode today. We'll cover some very important things, but we're going to talk about something's hot, something's fresh, and it's really heating up in the bass fishing world. It's a big attraction. I'm talking about, of course, Mystery Tackle Box. Mystery Tackle Box is sponsored by Carl's Bait and Tackle. Man, you can check them out and get you a fresh box. You can go in, sign up, and they have so many different boxes. You have a regular box, they have a pro box, elite box. It all comes at different prices. They may have promo code they can throw in, help you get a discount on that. But if they don't, you can scroll down to the link below, the description below, and put in that code and get you $10 off your first box. And great thing is, the value of the box is probably about 60, 70 bucks. It all depends on which box you get, probably 80, 90, if you go higher to elite box. But, they put a lot of great stuff in here. A lot of things basically coinciding to the fishing season. So we're in the winter, we're coming into spring, and they probably have some transitional baits. And so check out MysteryTackleBox.com, get your box. So we're moving on. And so last time I covered the rod. Very, very important to hone this, learn it, learn your rod, where you're out fishing. Like I said before, this is your antenna. It helps you feel the bottom, because you can't visually see the bottom unless you have a camera or GoPro underwater or something like that. But this is your eyes and ears to help you to navigate through the water, to know when a fish is hidden, to know about rocks and different things like that. And then there are certain rods that are very sensitive to the bottom. Of course, the more high speeds as you go up. That's why I always suggest going to Bass Pro Shops. The guys can walk you around and talk you through what you should get if you're a new beginner. So I suggest going to Bass Pro Shops, man, and talking with those guys walking around. And the stuff you see here, you can pick up at a Walmart, Big Sporting Goods, but I always suggest Bass Pro Shops, man. So moving right along, a subscriber asked me to kind of go through what will be some good springtime baits. And of course, I always go with, this is a Guggen bait lunker log, 6 lunker log, pure passion. The reason why I like throwing lunker log above every other worm type, a lure or anything like that, or 6-inch worms or anything like that, because it's heavy. It's heavy, thick, and has lots of movement. You can wacky style it, Ned rig. You can do all in Texas rig. You can throw it not weighted, because it's so heavy in shallow water and water that's very light, where if you throw it Texas rig, it just sinks to the bottom, back in the cuts and stuff like that. But a great transitional bait. It works year round. Especially something big and chunky like this, fish love it. They come in different colors and stuff like that, and also different sizes. I prefer this because it's a bigger presentation, and fish love it. They completely smash it. So check out Guggen Baits Pure Passion. Get that at Bass Pro Shops. Check them out. That's what I like throwing. And swim baits. And I use Strike King swim baits for a specific reason, because it's realistic. I like it. I like the style of it. It looks like a very small baby striper or a very small bass. Look at that. I like the color. It's perfect. I've tore it up with this. using the Colorado blade. I put it on the trailer, throw it out, reel it in, and I caught some monster fish. And so preferably I like that color. Very good. You can go get this at Bass Pro Shop. It's a Strike King perfect plastic, clear plastic bait. And it's so cool. I mean, it's so realistic. The paddle tail movement. Using this bait, if you just look in the water and see that movement, it looks like a little fish, man. It has that little cut in between where you put that. Usually I put it's open eye hook weighted. I think it's like a 3 ounce weight, a really small 3 ounce weight. And I weight it and I throw it out. I can throw it in all kinds of stuff. But when you buy the weighted hooks, you have to bend it down enough to kind of tuck it in. But that weight hangs out at the bottom, man. And I do it, the weight hangs out at the bottom. It's actually a drilling. You can buy drilling at Bass Pro Shop at Dick's Sporting. It's a drilling weight, 3 ounce weight. And you drill it in so it can stay tight, nice and tight. And you can throw it all day, man, using a Strike King. And also Mother Strike King Rage Swimmer. These are pretty cool as well. And I like the movement. The paddle tail movement is still awesome. And I usually go for the light colors or darker colors, something that mimics small bait fish. And so you can't fail with Strike King. Check them out. And look at that. That is just an awesome swim bait. And also Lipless Crankbaits. I like throwing these. These are good to cover a lot of ground. I preferably smaller, about this size. I like throwing stuff smaller because it looks a lot more eatable to other fish. And plus you can also go big. And look at that. It's so cool. And Strike King has these as well. Strike King has like, not just swim baits. They have all kind of stuff. You get plethora of baits and lures. But I go for more realistic baits like this. I always say you want to match the hatch of the fish that you're throwing to, match the surroundings. So if the fish are all black, I would probably throw all black. If they have yellow spots, throw yellow spots. So they have different Lipless Crankbaits, different colors that fit. And also because we're going toward the spring, I think probably more in the middle of the spring or kind of close to really into the spring, throwing some good top water stuff, poppers. They work very, very well. Usually I use the one without the back end, and my movement is very, very different. I should make a video on it, but I found a way to kind of hone into those bass and pick them up. But also you can do a traditional way. That might work as well. Very, very cool lure. And I think this is probably the same as the popper. The frog. I like throwing frogs. Frogs are pretty cool bait you can throw. They have all different types of frogs that you can buy. Strike King has frogs too as well. You can throw these as well. Very, very good bait. Very, very good choice of lure. I mean, especially if you want to pick up those big fish. And also lunker hunt. They have so many different varieties of lures that can shock these fish. Like this is a dragonfly. It's meant to be a top water. You can throw this probably now and these fish will hit it. But it looks like a little dragonfly. You pop it like a frog. I mean, you just basically move it like a frog. It's something that they're used to seeing, and they'll pick it off without no thought. It's not just like a regular bait. They've seen 1,000 times lunker hunt. They have so many different types of variety of baits. I suggest mixing it up, getting something new. They have a lot of new baits and lures out there for you to check out. And so those are some of, I would say, top spring baits, man. You're moving from the winter time. These fish are moving around and they're getting into that spawning mode again, moving around and chasing those bait fish. But like I said, Strike King perfect plastic clear bait, picked it at Bass Pro Shops. Lipless Crankbaits help you cover a lot of ground, man. Very, very easy to use. You throw it out and you reel it in. You add some more stuff to it. Very simple to cover a lot of ground. If you're in a new place, you want to cover a lot of ground. It's a perfect bait to use. And also a crawl color is very, very good to use in this time of the year because they're feeding on crawls and stuff like that. But like I said, when all else fails, I go for a worm. Great thing to use. I go for a worm to clean up. When, you know, if I throw a lipless crankbait, I'm not catching nothing. If I'm throwing a swim bait, I'm not catching nothing. I can always count on a 6-inch worm to clean up what the other baits did not pick up, man. It's a great way to clean up and get those extra fish in stride. And I was talking a little bit about the mentality of a fisherman when you go out. My biggest thing when I go out and fish, I have something new. Like when I first start things, I have something new like this on, and I have something that's kind of, if I'm not used to, I'll throw this around. And then I have something that I'm familiar with. I always have a worm, a Texas rig on. I use Texas rig weighted, and that's what I like throwing. I put on a Guggen bait and I do cleanup. So it's the mentality of, okay, I got something new that I'm trying, and I got something I know I catch fish on, or I'll most likely be throwing a swim bait, you know. And experimental bait. This would be called experimental bait, something that you never really use, and then you have something, you know, you catch fish on, and you have a cleanup. So this mentality of I'm gonna try something new that catches fish, or the next one, I always have like a great lineup of baits and lures I can use. Of course, things I know I can catch fish on, experimental things. Of course, a 6-inch lunker log. I usually bring 3 rods, 4 rods would be great. You know, just to kind of break down a pond and trying to figure out what these fish want, what's their style, what they're looking for. And that really helps me to try to figure out some things, and just to kind of get into a groove. But, you know, like I said, the mentality behind it is, you know, you work with one bait, you want to master that. You know, if you're a new beginner, hey, work with a swim bait, work with lipless crankbait, throw a Texas rig. You know, that's a very good starter bait, like I said before, and just work with that and learn the technique. You know, work with it for a couple weeks, like a week or two, get that honed down. You know, and always keep you a 6-inch lunker log on, and then you move on. That's how I learned bass fishing. You know, I mastered one thing, went to another, watch videos on it. Have a lot of videos that you can watch on lipless crankbait, frogs, and different things like that. I have videos that I did on stuff like that. So until next time, I'm saving up some good stuff for y'all, some good footage. Until next time, we get a little bit more into the mentality of bass fishermen and how we think and what we do, and how we can just go out and just nail something. You know, because it's all about scouting. It's all about visualizing, seeing, you know, okay, what do I need? What type of lure? What type of bait? And we can go out and pick a place apart, because we know, you know, just looking at the surroundings and looking at different areas and trying to figure things out. But it all comes with the basics. Learning your rod, very, very important. Being sensitive to your rod, learning the different thumps and different bumps, learning your different baits and different lures. That's pretty much the groundwork of bass fishing, man. Learning your rod, getting your line down, learning your drag, getting your rod down, learning your rod, and getting your drag down, learning how to do your drag, learning how to set a hook on a fish, learning the Texas rig, that's basic. And once you learn Texas rig, kind of move to like a swim bait, lipless crankbait. Those are good. Swim baits are always good to move to, because you learn the cadence of fish, you learn how they hit certain things. They hit these very aggressively. Swim baits usually go for the tail, and they'll rip the tail off, and they'll go for the fish to kind of stun the fish. And so learning those things, we go more in depth And basically, I'm trying to cover step by step of mentality of bass fishing to help you to perfect your game, and you can go out and catch the big end. And so, until next time, remember, keep it popping.